Welcome, Davina Kaler here. Today's class is all about energy, and to get us started, I am going to show you how to set up one of the diffusers that Young Living has. I love this diffuser, and you're going to see some of the neat things that it can do. But first, you're going to take this lid off and be gentle with it because it is kind of a glass there, and then you're going to take off this, and then you're going to add some water. So you can see here, I don't know if you can see very well, but there's like a little line about right here that you'll pour your water up to. And so I'm going to add my water. And since we're talking all about energy, I'm going to add some uplifting and energizing oil. So first I'm going to do peppermint. I'm going to put a few drops in there. And then orange. Orange is a happy oil, and it's also energizing because it lifts your mood and just makes you feel happy and energized. Alright, and then you're going to put the lids back on the diffuser. Here we go, and you're going to turn it on. And what I love about this diffuser is you can change the modes on it. So you've got different modes. This one is my favorite, where it looks like there's an actual flame inside it. So I usually keep it on there, but there's some red, and this one's like an orange, another amber color, green, purple, blue, some purple, I guess. And then I'll put it back to my favorite mode. This is my favorite one. I always leave it on this. So that's how you set up a diffuser. I've got some amazing uplifting oils that'll help energize me as I'm talking to you guys, so we can keep this fun and fast paced. And we're just going to talk all about some tips, tricks, and strategies to help you make sure you have great energy. And we're going to talk through your diet, exercise, stress management, and of course essential oils and the amazing products that Young Living has that will help with that as well. So let's get started. I'm going to set my diffuser down and get right back to you guys. Alright, you guys, let's get started with our discussion on energy and essential oils. I am a mom of 5, obviously. I've said that several times. And when I first learned about Young Living, I had 3 children. My youngest was about 8 months old, and I was completely and totally exhausted. I was emotionally exhausted, I was physically exhausted, and I was mentally exhausted. I know you've heard my story already where I talked about my kids going to the doctor 3 to 4 times a month. I had that stress of kids always being sick, and then I had the stress of missing work a lot to care for my sick kids. And my boss was a wonderful lady at the time, and she used to be a single mom, so she was very understanding, but she did have a talk with me and tell me, you know, you're pretty new to the department. I think I'd been there not very long, maybe less than 2 years, and she had said, you know, you're missing a lot of work. I understand your kids are sick, but you're gonna have to figure something out. I was a single mom, I understand, but really you need to be here for work. And so I had that added stress and pressure on me, so that seemed to drain me even more. And so I felt like I was a walking zombie, and I just didn't have the energy at the end of the day. I'd go to work and I could function through my day, but then there was nothing left when I got home, and I hated that. I hated that I was a grumpy mom. Hated that I felt like I was grumpy toward my husband. It just was not fair to my family. So when I got started with Young Living, it was all for my children, basically. I wanted their health and their quality of life to be better, and that's what it was all about. And my mom she had already started using the products and the oils, and she actually told me about Ningxia Red, and she had said, look, you got to try this, it will help you. She said my sister, her sister's in her 80s, but her sister had gotten to where she spent most of her time in a wheelchair, not because she was paralyzed or anything like that, but her mobility had just gotten so bad, and it was because her energy levels were just not where she had the stamina to walk around and do what she used to do. And my mom was really worried about her, and so she saw her about 6 months later, and she was walking with a cane, and she was so vibrant, and just like when she turned around and saw my mom, she was like, oh my gosh, Linda, I'm so happy to see you. And my mom was blown away, and she was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing for this? This is, in 6 months, this is a huge turnaround from what I was used to seeing you be like. And my aunt said, well, I've started drinking this stuff called Ningxia Red. And so my mom started taking it herself, and my dad takes it, and they won't go without it. And so I started taking it, and I also started sharing it with my kids, and my kids love it. I used to buy the big bottles of it, where they have like, that comes in 2 big bottles, and you just pour yourself an ounce or 2 a day. But my son Jack, a couple months ago, he poured himself an 8-ounce glass, and I was like, oh my gosh, child, this is stuff for me. This is what I need for my energy. You have plenty. You don't need all this. And so he's like, oh, but I just like it. I was going to drink a glass of it. And I was like, no, baby, you just need 2 ounces, and that's it. So I started buying the little sachets. These are 2 ounces, and I give them to my kids. They peel off the top, and then that's all they get, because I don't need them bouncing off the walls with way too much energy. So they come in these. These are awesome, especially if you're traveling on the road. So I started taking Ningxia Red, and it was a huge difference. I no longer felt like a zombie. To kind of put in perspective, I was nursing an 8-month-old child, and he was still waking up every 2 hours. And so I was completely and totally exhausted. I couldn't pass him off to my husband to do the nightly feeds, obviously, since I was nursing, and so I needed something to help me along. And I was also introduced to these wonderful supplements, and these are what's foundational: Ningxia Red and these 2 supplements together. And this is multigreens. You can see that. And then omega Jais. And omega Jais, like your omega-3 supplements, like your fish oil. And one of the things that's interesting about fish oil is it can go rancid. So Young Living has found a way around that by adding essential oils to it, and that helps keep the fish oil in it from going bad, basically. And so another thing that I often have dealt with is after River, I ended up with a little bit of a low functioning thyroid. It was not hypothyroidism or anything like that. It was just low functioning. So I needed to help it with diet and exercise. But also Young Living has this awesome product called Thyromin. You take it in the evenings before bed, and it is a wonderful support for a healthy thyroid. And so I have told you before, so we're going to talk about diet and exercise and stress management and essential oils. So before, whenever I was struggling with getting pregnant, my diet was a big reason. So having the low functioning thyroid was a big part. So it also makes you tired. And so I talked in the previous videos, sorry, I can't talk right now, in the previous videos that I did a 21-day sugar detox and ended up pregnant. And then this last time I was doing the keto diet, which is also low carb, so I was cutting out a lot of sugar, and I started to exercise. You guys, I had gotten where I could do like 15 push-ups, and then I ended up pregnant. And so I got to get back to that. And then I was also doing Progestance Plus. And so your diet, your exercise, supplements, all that is super important. And so now I also wanted to talk about some amazing essential oils. So if you start to feel like you're being run down, one of the oils I love to get is peppermint, and then you guys saw me put orange oil in that diffuser. These 2 together are absolutely phenomenal for helping you with just feeling more energized. This is like your happy oil, and this is your energized oil. And so when your emotions are better and you're feeling better, you're also going to have more energy. It's just that positivity just kind of radiates from you, and it is very contagious. So everyone else around you also kind of gets that energized feeling. One of the other oils I like to use is Clarity. So a lot of times for me, when I don't have my diet and exercise right, and then I'm up all night with kiddos. My youngest is 14 months, and she still gets up during the night. So I feel like people ask me, like, how long has it been since you slept? And I was like, oh, my oldest is 12, so 12 years since I've got to sleep straight through the night. So a lot of times I deal with brain fog, or I cannot recall stuff. So whenever I start to get to that point, I pull out my Clarity, or my brain power. These are amazing. And then they also have a kids version called Genius. Truth be told, I really like the smell of brain power over Genius. It smells amazing. When I first smelled this oil, I thought, oh my gosh, I just have to have it just because I like the smell of it. I wasn't even sure like if I needed it for just for my, clarity and all, or yeah, clarity and all that. I just knew that I wanted it because of the smell. So it smells amazing. Another essential oil that's really good to help you with your energy levels and your brain and all that is frankincense. Phenomenal frankincense. Frankincense is one of those essential oils that has like 10,000 uses, so it is amazing. And then Young Living actually does have a blend called Energy, which is wonderful and amazing. And this oil has juniper in it, and juniper is the essential oil that was being distilled when I was at the farm, and so juniper will always make me think of the farm whenever I got to walk through there. So this oil is phenomenal, and it does help energize you, and it is of course mood boosting. So I really think that a lot of times when our hormones are taxed, we have too much sugar in our diets, we're doing caffeine, so we're causing our cortisol to produce more and more, and then we add sugar on top of that, which cortisol tries to help regulate sugar in our bloodstream, and so we're taxing all our hormones, and then we're not sleeping well, and then we end up with adrenal fatigue. And I wish I had my nutmeg sitting over here. It's on a different shelf, and it might actually be behind me, but nutmeg is one that's great for that. You just apply it over the back of your kidneys area, which is where your adrenals are, and it is a phenomenal essential oil for supporting that. And let me see what else for energy. It's hard to think. I think I went through everything, which makes this a much shorter video, but hey, yay, that's great. So use the products regularly, give it at least 30 days, and then you'll really be able to tell how they help you. I could feel it right away. Some people it takes a little bit longer. Definitely something you want to do. I also like to do the essential oils in my water, but I don't have any of my vitality oils. So Young Living made a phenomenal line to let you know which oils that you could take internally, and so you can drop 1 or 2 drops in your drink. And so like the peppermint vitality, I used to drink it in my water a lot. I had stopped doing that because in some women it can dry up your milk supply if you're nursing, and I was unfortunately one of those women, so I had to stop drinking peppermint. But I used to love to do peppermint in the summer especially, and then I would do lemon and orange or any of the citrus flavors in the Vitality line. They have a white label instead of the colored label, and that's how you can tell that those are the oils that are okay to ingest. There's no difference between the regular label and the white label. It's just for labeling purposes and labeling for legal guidelines and everything, that we have to do it that way. But it also helps you know that if it has a white label, it is a-okay for ingesting. So hopefully I have covered everything on energy. Well, let me go back. So if you truly want to get your energy levels up, I would definitely look into a diet plan that's perfect for you. Cut out processed sugar. You may not be one that does well on a low carb or something like keto like I do. I really thrive on those types of diets. My weight does much better, and I feel better whenever I do those types of diets. But find a diet that works best for you, and definitely cut out the processed sugars, and try to eliminate as much as like the bread and the pasta and stuff as you can. And make sure your sugar that you are getting in is going to be from fresh fruit and like the root vegetables and stuff like that. And then your exercise, even if it's just walking 30 minutes a day, you'd be amazed at how much that does for you. It helps you relieve stress. It helps energize you, makes you feel better, just doing something like that. I personally enjoy doing PiYo, and I've talked about that before. And that's what I was doing this last time when I got pregnant, and got up where I could do like 15 push-ups. And I was so excited, and then I found out I was pregnant, and I still continued to work out until it just became too much. I was just too exhausted and was having a hard time recovering. So I had to wait. I'm the AMA, advanced maternal age for having children. So thankfully I am done. 5 is my limit. So I was doing PIO, and then I was taking my supplements and using my Perdescence Plus. I was taking my multigreens and my omega-3s, my omega Jis, and all that has helped me keep my energy levels up. I have enough energy to work during the day, come home and deal with 5 crazy children, and then get them put to bed, and then try to spend a few, sometimes it's only 30 minutes, but spend time with my husband. We either will sit down and watch a show, or we'll sit and talk, or just enjoy being around each other. And instead of me crashing out at 8 o'clock at night, how I used to do, I'm able to stay up for a little bit so I can enjoy some time with him. Now, I do go to bed way before he does. I don't know what it is with men, but they are able to seem like have more energy than what women are. I don't think they deal with the hormone stuff that we deal with, I guess. But my husband's like the Energizer Bunny, so I can't keep up with him, even with me doing the supplements and stuff, but I am able to do what's good for me, and can stay up and get the stuff done that I need to do, and still have some left over for my family when I get home from work, because I work a lot of hours sometimes in my regular job. More hours than I want to sometimes. Sometimes it's like feast or famine. Sometimes it's overly busy, and sometimes it's kind of steady, and then sometimes you're looking for something to do. So whenever it's the feast time and I'm working lots of hours, that's when I really, really need my Ningxia and all my supplements and stuff. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully you got some insight on some great products that you can use. And if you have any questions, let me know. As always, drop me a comment below. Let me know what your biggest aha moment was, what you love most about what you learned in this video. Yeah, let me know. And you guys have a wonderful and blessed day, and thank you so much for allowing me to share my heart and all this information with you. Have a great day.